What up, Internet? This is Tom from Big Shiny Robot here to talk to you about Blood of the Werewolf. We've got a little video preview and a review for you. This game comes out of Midnight City Games and Scientifically Proven. Released yesterday on Steam for $9.99, but you can actually get it as part of the Halloween sale for $7.99 right now. Super cool side-scroller platformer. Be sure to check for any of your news and reviews. You can follow at Thomas Winkley on Twitter, at Big Shiny Robot on Twitter, Facebook.com/BigShinyRobot, and of course, check us out at the site, BigShinyRobot.com. Let's jump right into the platforming. So, once again, this game is a giant homage to like Castlevania. Even the level select screen looks like that old scroll map off the first Castlevania game. Story is you're Selena, a werewolf who has a husband, a kid. You ran over to America to get away from some evil. That evil has come over and killed your husband and taken your son, so you're on a vengeance quest with nothing but your werewolf powers and your trusty crossbow. You'll notice the platforming is really precise. You look at the lights flashing, that's the timer before these big squishers close. You actually have to go on this level through all of those squishers, navigate the whole level before they close on you. The game is really meant to be played as a repetition piece. It's not something you're going to master right away. There's not special abilities unlocking certain areas for you. There's areas of the werewolf, areas of the human. If you're outside and the moon's out, you're a werewolf. If you're indoors and there's no moon, you're a human. But you can notice it looks pretty challenging, and I've been repeating this part quite a bit. You're going to see me repeat it about 4 or 5 more times before I finally get through to the end of it. Then right after that, you'll actually see one of the other parts that's a little more repetition-based, but it's basically a straight run. You don't get to take any breaks, and they're going to make you blind run through a whole set of squishers. So super cool stuff. You'll notice that if I duck, I get stuck here, and then I have to keep ducking, then I die. You don't want to duck on this part. I learned that the hard way, unfortunately. One thing that kind of sets us apart from some of the other challenging platformers is though it is hard to navigate and it does require patterns and repetition and you really need to get the rhythm of the level down, they're not robbing you of health and power-ups. There's plenty of health, plenty of power-ups available, so you don't feel completely useless. Also, there's a good checkpoint system, so notice I've started from the same point every time. Once you pass a particularly difficult portion, it will auto-save, so you can then go back to that checkpoint if you die and continue on from there, which is nice as opposed to, limited lives, limited continues. They'll just keep letting you try again until you finish. So, a little easier. The hardcore are probably going to hate it for me. I actually liked it because it just didn't take... I didn't have to play through the entire first 4 levels of the game to get back to what I was doing. Something else I've noticed, and you'll see it after I get through this scene, really kind of... I don't want to say bummed, but the bosses are a lot easier than the actual levels. So, at the end of this level, we'll fight Hyde, and you'll kind of see that once you figure out their pattern, which only takes a couple of minutes, you'll blast through the bosses really, really fast. I think the hardest boss I fought, I had to retry 3-4 times, not a whole lot. The story, nothing to write home about. It's just your standard revenge story. It is really fun how they drive you through it using the bosses, and as the bosses tell you what little bit of information you need to know, you eat their heart, as the werewolf lore says, therefore to keep yourself powerful and alive. I think it's kind of cool to watch you clear through those different bosses. My favorite boss was the Mummy. Reminded me of Death from Castlevania. Throws this into bone sides. Has a couple of different variations you get to go through. Here's that blind run I was telling you about. Basically, you're going as fast as you can. I missed a jump, I'm dead. You can't stop. If you stop in an area that doesn't have one of those ground pounders, it will actually laser beam you in the face. You're going to see that here in a minute. So I'm going to get to a point where I think I could stop and collect my strategy, and I end up getting melted to death. So I am waiting and zap. You may also notice a timer on the bottom left. That timer is actually used for the leaderboard, so they have that timer set so that you get compared against others playing the same level. They also count how many times you've died. I think my record was 82 deaths in one level. It was pretty brutal. Those yellow icons that are spinning, if you grab those, after grabbing a certain threshold of those, will actually increase your health bar. So the more of those you grab, the bigger your health bar gets. Kind of an important mechanic. Those blue ones are actually like a fetch quest. You collect a certain number per level to get achievements. Here's that classic scroll I was telling you about. I'm going to go ahead and mute for a minute so you can actually watch kind of what the cutscenes are and get an idea of how the characters interact. And you can kind of see what I mean when I say it's a little bit like a Saturday morning cartoon. Not the best voice acting, but good. Doesn't ever take itself too seriously.
I can smell you, Doctor. You are filled with fear. I like that. It makes your heart taste better.
Leave here! You have no right to do this to me!
No right? No right? I have a mother's right! You have my son!
No, I don't! I don't have him!
Well, then you know who does! tell me!
No, I'm not afraid of you anymore, girl. Not anymore.
We saw that classic Castlevania map. So awesome. So here's the boss fight against Hyde. I really like the animation, like I said. It's kind of a cool, a little bit cartoony, a little Saturday morning. Not too serious, but still nice. So Hyde has a couple moves. He's got his clap where he'll do a high wind bolt or a low wind bolt. He'll run at you with his scorpion style, get over here, or he will actually plug into a health machine and start healing, or just jump at you. So once you kind of figure out what all of his moves are like, it becomes a pretty easy process. The only thing that I really had to figure out here was, oh yeah, I need to dodge debris falling from this guy while he's plugged into his healing machine. You'll notice here I didn't realize that you had to shoot the healing machine to kill him, so I just tried to kill him. Once I clued in, not a big deal. So here we go, kind of see how I do it. If you're going to pick a way to play it, it's easiest on a controller. The game was really felt like it was designed for a gamepad. You use the right trigger to shoot, the left trigger to duck. I could not figure out how to map duck to down, so I don't know if that's a possibility. If it is, awesome. If not, that sucks. Use your right thumbstick to aim where the arrow is shooting. The right trigger shoots, like I said. The right bumper is actually your special ability, and those are all the controls. So you'll notice that I'm always shooting. I just basically held down the shoot button and use the right stick like a stick shooter to point. That way I can just kind of direct the arrows and worry about dodging and leaving. So once you catch the pattern of them, it's not really hard. You can see I'm close to full life. And the nice thing is that they're not too stingy with the health, so in a minute you're actually going to see that purple flower. I'm going to run over and grab that once I dodge this giant monster here. Oh no, I'm at full health already. Duck under the bolt. Keep on shooting. There's definitely a good diversity of levels. One thing I really enjoyed, this is the big factory where you go through all the squishers and dodge them, and then you fight Hyde. You go through a crypt, you go through some catacombs. There's actually like a sky level. There's like a manor house. There's a forest. So a lot of the same things you're used to in seeing in like a horror game or a platformer, you're gonna get those, and they definitely match the monster you're going after. You know, the level where you fight the mummy are basically these big catacombs full of skeletons and things like that. When you go to fight Dracula, you're actually in a manor house, and there's vampires everywhere and puzzles, and it actually gets a little darker and it's harder to see, so they can jump out at you. Just really well put together overall. And for $10, it's a killer game, especially for the amount of gameplay you can get. Once you finish the game, you can actually go back to the level select, and you can do level select once you finish the level, and then you can go replay the level to find all the power-ups, all the unlockables, and hunt all that stuff down to get bigger, better. There's a couple of werewolf power-ups, also a couple of crossbow power-ups that you get, which are really nice to have. I think we're just about dead here. I think he'll get plugged in one more time. I blow that up, and then you shoot him in the face till he dies. You'll notice though, as I pick up the pattern, I'm able to shoot, dodge, you're able to really pick up everything. You can kind of learn the flow of the battle, which is nice. Get over here. So while he's dying, I'm going to cut right over to the platforming as a werewolf for a minute and let you kind of see how that works. So, kind of got a good example of what it's like to play the game as a human. This is the werewolf platforming. So you're outside, the moon's out, therefore you're a werewolf. Basically your attack is your claws. You also have a dash attack, which I don't use a ton in this level, but jumping into minecarts have spikes on the front, so you don't want to get hit in the face with the minecarts. One thing about the game is the monsters in the level don't seem to add a ton. Oh yeah, look at that. Went inside, turned into a human. It's really the environment dodging that is the hardest part. Like the monster you saw me kill just a minute ago, he was basically just throwing a vial of acid. Once you get past the vial, he's worthless. Don't forget your spinning saw blades. Every good factory has vertical minecarts on conveyor belts and saw blades. So, which you'll notice, like it really is more challenging to dodge the environment than it is to dodge the monsters. Now, this is kind of a cool platforming tool they're using. So they're using the up and down things that you might have seen in like Mario games, Mega Man. But then, as you get through them, you actually shoot the dynamite to blow up the wall to continue on. So a really cool use of the environment to kind of push you further. And you can try to collect those coins. And don't forget, you know, there's the blood-covered spikes, because I'm sure hundreds have died trying to do the same thing I'm going to do in like 4,000 tries. Okay, moving on, I just want to show you the other boss fight that I really kind of enjoyed in the game. It's actually a fight against the creature as the werewolf. And it gives you an idea of more of the werewolf's abilities too. So you're going to dodge these 5 barrages of this ugly green slime. Then he's also got his little fish dudes coming up behind you. So you kind of have to do both of them. Dodge the walls of slime, run up, hit him as many times as you can, and then you have to dodge the low barrage next. So you can double jump over that, try to hit him. You see me kind of warming up here. You know, this is more of a unique... They do have kind of the stagnant 2D backgrounds, but it's still a lot of fun, and the music is great. The use of the music in this game is pretty good as well. There's only one sound effect that just totally sucks. The zombie has the most pitiful death sound I've ever seen, so... Oh, it's awful. It's so bad. So if when you kill a zombie, you'll know what I mean. So as you see, as you start picking up the pattern, it's really easy to kind of start dodging stuff, figure out exactly what it's going to do. And this is also like one of the first missions, so they're kind of easing you into the pattern system, so they're not being quite as random about it, because they don't want you to quit the game right off the bat, which is really nice of them. So there you have it, guys. There's a quick video review of Blood of the Werewolf. Like I said, it came out on Steam yesterday. It's normally $9.99, but until November 4th, you can get it for $8 as part of the Halloween sale. If you're a platformer and you're on a PC, this is a game for you. Jump in and check it out. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow me at Thomas Winkley on Twitter. Follow us at Big Shiny Robot on Twitter, Facebook.com/BigShinyRobot, and don't forget to check out for your daily news on BigShinyRobot.com. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.